So this video is going to be a short example of what the climbing is going to really look like during the strength session, and kind of a bit of an analysis on some of my individual movements while I'm completing some climbs in the strength session. In this climb, I really want you to pay attention to the way I do the first move, as well as all the other moves, but like really this first move in particular. So I completely isolated on the undercling and dropped into that hold. This move right here, I'm going to slowly lock up to the hold and go again. And that's not like necessarily the easiest way to do the move, but that's the way that we're going to be climbing during the strength phase. The way that just loads our tissue very heavily, loads body tension, trains our fingers. That's kind of the goal here. The goal is to climb in a different style that is like beneficial, but maybe not the perfect way to climb. Again, right there, completely isolated the first move, completely locked off. Here again, nice and locked. This move's a little funky, so I can't like do it completely static, but even there, I'm like in the position before I go. I'm not using my momentum to get there. And, you don't have to be a complete stickler about your movement. Like, if you are falling and you end up, like, grabbing a hold, that's okay. This climb is, like, a great example of that, where it's, like, super limit for me, and towards the end, I end up doing things a bit faster. But that's okay. So, since I'm on the tension board too, what I will end up doing is I'll pick 4 or so boulders that I make myself, and I'll end up doing each of them once on each side, so that ends up being 8 climbs. Usually I don't get up all of them on the first try, so I end up doing a few more burns than 8, but that's kind of the general structure, and I'll end up just running that circuit for the first few weeks of the phase, and then I'll make another one in the latter portion of the strength phase. So here you've seen me do 3 of the climbs on one side. So the purpose of this video is really to just like exemplify the way that I'm moving in the strength phase, and how it is quite radically different from the way I would normally climb. And that's the point. The point is to radically change your climbing style and isolate variables that you would never do otherwise. And to do that so consistently that it becomes something that you can tap into whenever you need. You'll notice that this isn't the best way to climb. This is training. This isn't, practicing perfect technique. You're not. This is very inefficient in a lot of ways, but it's really, really effective at teaching skills and integrating strength into your climbing. And I also wanted to kind of talk about the way that I will structure my sessions. If you have the tension board 2, if you have access to the tension board 2, the mirror version, or any mirror board, I would really recommend making your circuit of boulders and then like swapping the boulders. So you have 4 boulders and then you swap them. That's your session. You just do all the 4 boulders, or try to. Like a lot of them might be projects for you. And that's also a great way to approach it. I would recommend stratifying the difficulty. So one of the boulders you can usually do, and one of them is really hard. And you might be able to do it on one side, but you can't on the other. And that's really the beauty of the tension board too, is like I've discovered today that my left pinch strength is slightly weaker than my right, and also that one hold on the right side of the board is angled like 1 degree off in, and like that makes a difference because of like how detail oriented the climbing is. And this is kind of like another benefit, is it teaches you to be detail oriented. But yeah, I wanted to just kind of give a bit more on the strength session, because I really think this is so integral in what we're doing during the strength phase of climbing. And I think that probably one video describing the strength session is kind of insufficient. So I wanted to put out another one that is just like giving a bit more on what we're doing, why we're doing it, and some possible structures that you can use.